What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Saturday, May 24th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and our Western Conference Finals game between the Thunder and Timberwolves. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out, starters being confirmed, and rain delayed or postponed games being added in late. Yesterday, guys, looking like another kind of rough one. We started things off great. We had the under there in the Toronto-Tampa Bay game, under 9, and that was a 3-1 win there for Tampa Bay, an easy cash on the under. But after that, stuff started happening. It was pretty brutal. We had the Tigers at -135. That was a 3-1 loss. Slade Ciccone better than Jackson Jobe, and Detroit offense continues to be slumping, so that was disappointing. We've got the Mets at +100, technically still alive. They're trying to get a rally going there in the bottom of the ninth, but that's going to take a lot to get that job done. We had the Braves at -142. That was a 2-1 loss. God, do I hate the Padres. Sale was lights out, but Atlanta loses there in the ninth inning on a Machado home run. So pretty disappointing stuff there. We had the Royals at +140 as our dog of the day. That was a 3-1 loss. Should have went with the under, apparently. Another ninth inning loss there as well, as the Royals bullpen gives up a 2-run home run. We also had the Rangers at -190 as our massive lock of the day. Somehow they take the 4-1 loss there. The Rangers only getting 3 hits and putting up an error in that game, despite going against the White Sox, is pretty embarrassing stuff. So definitely looking for a bit of a bounce back here. We did at least cash TJ McConnell over 7.5 points as well, so put another small win there on the board, cashing that NBA prop, but overall, not the day we were looking for. So let's jump back in, and we've got a full slate with some weird rain out stuff going on here on Saturday. So first up, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Royals come into this game 28-24 on the year, fresh off that 3-1 loss there in game 1 of this series. They're going to be handing the ball to Michael Wacha, who comes into this game 3-4 on the year, a 2.86 ERA. He's fresh off a solid but hit-riddled outing there against the Cardinals. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, only a single earned run though, struck out 6 and walked 0. So taking care of business once again. I would say probably 4 out of his last 5 starts were excellent, and 1, he gave up 3 earned runs against the Orioles. So really not too much to be concerned about there for Wacha. The bullpen situation for Kansas City continues to be solid. They're 6th best in the majors, a 3.29 bullpen ERA. The problem for this team is their total lack of offense. Bobby Witt Jr. does some positive stuff on pretty much a nightly basis, but they're still 26th in the majors in runs scored, at 25th and on base percentage. This is not a very high scoring team, so a lot of pressure goes there on the bullpen and on the starting pitchers. So we'll see what they can do here against the Twins, who are obviously coming off that 3-1 win. That's got to feel pretty good. They're handing the ball in this game to Zebby Matthews. Also, guys, if you're hearing thunder and lightning and rain in the background, we're going through kind of a crazy thunderstorm, so hopefully we don't lose power here, but we'll see what happens. Now, the Twins handing the ball to Zebby Matthews. He's 0-1 this year. This young 25-year-old's only made 1 start. That was back on the 18th, and he got kind of shelled there by the Milwaukee Brewers in a game we eventually saw the Twins lose 5-2. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him, see if that Twins bullpen can continue to be so good. A 3.03 bullpen ERA. Not a whole lot to complain about there. The offense, on the other hand, has been a little bit all over the place. They went on that long winning streak where the offense was looking good. They're still, guys, only 21st in the majors in runs scored, though, and 20th in slugging percentage, so definitely not what I would term an elite level offense. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Royals at +105, the Twins at -125. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Royals 11-14 on the road, 16-8-1 to the under on the road. Minnesota 16-7 at home, a very good home team, 14-8-1 to the under at home themselves. I think we definitely have to very seriously consider taking under 8 in this game. Now, neither starting pitcher's been amazing, but both offenses have been so mediocre this season. I think you have to at least consider the under. In terms of a side, I'll be leaning just slightly here towards the Twins to get the win here in game 2, despite Zebby Matthews being on the mound here, but really, we're going to go ahead and stay away from that side in general and just look towards the under. Next up, guys, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Diamondbacks come into this game losers of 3 in a row, and they lost the first game of the series 4-3. Arenado's bases loaded triple there. Pretty insane stuff for St. Louis. Now, the Diamondbacks going to hand the ball in this one to Merrill Kelly, who's 5-2 this year, a 3.26 ERA. He's been very, very good recently. Last start, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed, 11 strikeouts, and 3 walks, and a 1-0 win there over the Colorado Rockies. Start before that, 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run allowed, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks, and a 2-1 win there against the Giants. He's not getting a lot of run support, but he has been lights out. The bullpen situation for Arizona continues to be a huge problem, and the offense, while it's looked still very good over the course of the year, still 5th in the majors in runs scored, has scored only 3, 1, 3, 9, and 1 runs over their last few games. Not looking like a top 5 offense at the moment. So we'll see what they can get done in this one. I don't know if you guys saw that there was a huge lightning strike pretty close. That was kind of nuts. Now they're going up against the Cardinals here, who are 28-23 on the year, fresh off that 4-3 win. They're handing the ball in this game to Matthew Liberatore, who's 3-3, a 2.92 ERA. He's fresh off of a very good start there against the Royals. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs over any of his last 5 starts. Despite all that, the Cardinals are only 3-2 over that span. So we'll see what they get from him in this one. This young lefty's been very, very good. Now, the bullpen situation for Arizona this year has been, terrible. Now, the Cardinals started off terrible. It's gotten much, much better. A 3.90 bullpen ERA has them right around, maybe even slightly above MLB average. Now, the offense is where the Cardinals have really just gone nuts this year, kind of out of nowhere. They're tied for 7th in the majors in runs scored. They're the 2nd highest batting average team in the majors, 5th in on-base percentage. This is just an elite level offense. Now, they haven't been swinging the hottest bats, but coming up with 4 runs there, thanks in large part to Arenado, things looking pretty good. Now, the Cardinals actually come into this game as favorites. The Diamondbacks are minus 105. The Cardinals are minus 115. We've got a total of 8. Arizona 13-11 on the road, 12-11-1 to the over on the road. St. Louis 16-8 at home, 13-10-1 to the over at home. I don't think we can really fade Merrill Kelly in this spot. Although Liberatore out there on the mound, lefty going up against the Diamondbacks, I think we have to consider that. So it feels a little bit coin flippy. I think there's a decent shot you could, make some money on a no-run first inning in this game, and maybe we even have to contemplate taking the under. But I'm not showing a ton of value in this spot. Give me the Diamondbacks as a slight lean and a little look at the under. Jumping in here, guys, amid the thunder and lightning going on here in the Midwest, to shout out StumpTheSpread.com, the sponsor of today and every day's video. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running and is off to a great beginning to the year. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not necessarily always match what you see here in the video, as I am not the premium capper for MLB over at StumpTheSpread.com. We've got a guy that has many more years of Major League Baseball experience, handicapping it at least, and he's got some very sophisticated tools, algorithms. He really knows what he's talking about. He's taken the weather, bullpens, anything, any variable you can possibly imagine, he's taken into account on these MLB games. So definitely, if there's ever a discrepancy, you should be leaning towards what he says, way over what I am saying. You definitely want to go over there to StumpTheSpread.com, check out that, and definitely get on our free email list, guys. All you need to do is sign up for a free account. They just need your name and your email address. You'll be getting 1 email every single day straight to your inbox with at least 1 free pick in it. There will be information on niche bets like golf, NASCAR, horse racing, you name it, all kinds of crazy stuff. And there's updates on our results, all kinds of good stuff like that. There's also parlays included in those emails very, very often. So definitely worthwhile to sign up for that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, click the little join button right below the video to become a channel member. Channel members are eligible for our monthly giveaways. We're giving away 2 pieces of merchandise next month in June. Guys, we'll do one very early in June and one about halfway through June, I think is probably how we're going to juggle that. Also, if you were one of the winners of the May giveaways, guys, get down in the comments. Let me know you were a winner, because I still have not had anyone reach out to me for those pieces of merchandise. Also, guys, channel members get early access to all my videos and get their name up on screen in every single video, just like you've been seeing. But we got a very busy Saturday slate, guys, so let's jump back in. We're going to be looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Brewers come into this game 25-27 on the year, so not exactly killing it. They just lost on a wild pitch there in game 2 of this series to lose 6-5. They're in the ball in this one to Quinn Priester, hoping he can bounce back. Oh, huge, guys. The Mets giving us a chance here to not have such a bad day. They've now tied things up with the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th. Let's go Mets. Let's hope they can come through. But Quinn Priester not having an amazing year. He's 1-2, a 4.66 ERA. His last start, he did okay against Baltimore. And his start for that, he's very good against Cleveland. But he's been a bit all over the place and has had some bad starts mixed in. So we'll see what we get from this young 24-year-old. Now, the Brewers' bullpen definitely leaves a lot to be desired. A 4.64 bullpen ERA, not great. And the offense, while it's been better maybe a little bit here recently, has not been amazing. They're currently 12th in the majors in runs scored, but 25th in batting average and 21st in on base percentage. Kind of gives you a more realistic outlook of where this team actually is there offensively. So we'll see what they can do here against the Pirates, who have kind of quietly won 3 out of their last 4. They're still only 18 and 34 on the year. Hitting the ball to Mitch Keller, who's 1-6 this season, a 3.88 ERA. Now, he's actually been throwing the ball pretty darn well. It hasn't been his fault that his team isn't giving him any run support. I mean, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, and 1 earned run against the Reds in a game we eventually saw the Pirates lose 7-1. So what are you going to do? He did his thing. Part of the problem is the Pirates' bullpen is atrocious. The offense is the main problem, though, guys. One of the worst offenses in the majors. They're actually last in the majors in runs scored and last in slugging percentage. So, looking at the numbers for this game, Brewers are sitting at -105. The Pirates are -115. We've got a total of 8.5. Milwaukee's 9-16 on the road, 14-10-2 to the under on the road. The Pirates 11-15 at home, 13-12-1 to the under at home. In terms of the total here, guys, I wouldn't hate under 8.5 too much. I think that's live in this game. But in terms of a side, I'm going to be leaning just slightly towards the Brewers to have a little bit of a bounce back here against a pretty bad offense. And I think we could see a decent outing here from Quinn Priester. I don't know if he's faced the Pirates. No, he has not faced the Pirates yet this season. So we'll see what he can do out here, but not a play that's going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Giants come into this game, guys, 30-21 on the year, fresh off a 4-0 shutout there of the Nationals in Game 1 of this series. So you're going to be hitting the ball in this game to Kyle Harrison, hoping he can do some of the same. This young 23-year-old going to be making his first start of the year, I believe. Yeah, I think he's made 4 bullpen appearances. Now he gets the start, and he has been pretty good. I would not say quite dominant. His last couple of outings given up a run in each, but overall, I think we've liked what we've seen from Kyle Harrison. Now, the bullpen for the Giants has been dominant, best in the majors, a 2.62 bullpen ERA. The problem is their offense is tailing off here a little bit, and that shouldn't be a huge surprise to anyone. While they're still 9th in the majors in runs scored, they're 22nd in batting average, 17th in slugging percentage. Not the kind of numbers you would expect to see from a real top 5, top 10 kind of offense. So we'll see what they can get up to here against the Nationals in Game 2. Now, Washington, 23-28 on the year, actually a little bit better than I would have thought they'd be this year. They had won 5 in a row before taking that 4-0 loss. They're hitting the ball in this one to Jake Irvin, who's 3-1 this year, a 3.88 ERA. He's fresh off a very good start there against Baltimore, had a decent start against the Braves. He's done some very good stuff this year. Now, he's had his share of struggles mixed in as well. He hasn't faced the Giants yet this year, but we'll see what he does in this outing. Overall, I expect him to be decent, but I always expect that Washington Nationals bullpen to be terrible. A 6.27 bullpen ERA. Obviously, something of a disaster there. And the offense, while it's not bottom of the barrel necessarily, they're 12th in the majors in runs scored, but 17th in batting average and 17th in on-base percentage. Feels like a more realistic outlook of where this team is at the plate. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Giants are -136. The Nationals are +115. We've got a total of 8.5. San Francisco is 12-12 on the road, 16-7-1 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best to the over on the road mark. Washington is 12-12 at home, 14-9-1 to the over at home. In terms of a side in this one, I'm going to be leaning here just slightly towards the Giants. I think a bullpen start from San Francisco is probably not a bad thing, and Kyle Harrison's been pretty good. I know Jake Irvin's decent, so I'm not going to completely discount the Nationals here at +115, but not an underdog that I love. And with the total here of 8.5, maybe we look at the under a bit, but I'm not going against the trends of these two teams. Rolling right along here, guys, we got the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. Now, the Cubs come into this game fresh off a crazy 13-6 win there at Cincinnati in Game 1 of this series. They're making the ball with Colin Ray here in Game 2, who's 3-0 on the year, a 2.38 ERA. He's fresh off of pretty much dominating the White Sox. I mean, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Looks pretty decent, and it was a 6-2 win. The Cubs are 4-1 over his last 5 starts, so a lot of positives mounting there for Colin Ray. We'll see what he can get done in this game. Now, the Cubs bullpen, it's been slightly improving, but a 4.21 bullpen ERA, definitely well below MLB average. The thing that carries the Cubs is these huge offensive outbursts. They are actually the #1 run-scoring team in the majors, first in runs scored. They are 4th in batting average, 4th in on-base percentage. This is a dominant offensive team. Now, can they keep that rolling in this one? I would say it's certainly possible. They're going to go up against the Reds here, and they're playing at the Great American Ballpark. Cincinnati's actually lost 3 in a row, but they're hitting the ball to Andrew Abbott in this game, who's been excellent this year. 3-0 this season, a 1.80 ERA. He's fresh off a 5-inning, 4-hit, no runs allowed game there against Cleveland. He's been lights out, guys. Over his last 4 starts, he's given up 1 earned run. Yeah, Yeah, 1 earned run. That's pretty crazy. He hasn't faced the Cubs yet this year, so we'll see how he does in this matchup. But pitching at home, he's looked, his last 2 starts are both at home, and he gave up 1 earned run over 11 innings combined over those 2 starts. So we'll see what the Reds give him in terms of run support. Now, the bullpen's been good, not elite for the Reds here recently. The offense is where the problems start to crop up, guys. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored this year, but 16th in on-base percentage and 19th in batting average. They've scored 6, 1, 0, 7, 3, and 4 runs over their last few games. So looking at the numbers here, the Cubs are minus 125. The Reds are plus 105. We've got totals out there of 9 or 9.5. The Cubs are 15 and 10 on the road, 14, 9, and 2 to the over on the road. Cincinnati is 13 and 12 at home, 15, 8, and 2 to the under at home. I think under 9.5 is a very good spot in this one. I don't see either one of these starters really having too much trouble in this game. I think they're going to do a very good job until late into the game. And while the Cubs bullpen isn't very good, the Reds bullpen is good enough that I think we keep this thing, pretty low scoring even throughout the entire game. Next up, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road in this one to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Padres snap that losing streak thanks to a Manny Machado go-ahead home run in the 9th inning to kill us yesterday. So pretty annoying stuff. They're hitting the ball in this one to Michael King, who comes in this game 4-2 on the year, a 2.59 ERA. He's fresh off a bad start against the Mariners, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them are earned in a 6-1 loss. Start for that, struggled a little bit against the Angels. Start for that, he was decent against the Yankees, but he hasn't been quite his normal self here over his last couple starts, but he hasn't been a disaster. The Padres bullpen has struggled a lot during their recent losing streak, but the big problem is their offense has been terrible. They've still only scored 2, 6, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 1 runs over their last few. You scored 2 runs and finally got a win. Congratulations, but this offense is still slumping. So we'll see what they do here against the Braves, who are 24 and 26 on the year. They've been letting us down here recently, so that's pretty annoying. They're hitting the ball to Grant Holmes, who comes into this game 2-3 on the season, a 4.01 ERA. He's fresh off of a pretty good start there against Boston. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, but he walked 4, and we eventually saw these Atlanta Braves lose that game 7-6. So we'll see if he gets a little bit more help in this one, or if the Atlanta bullpen can pull itself together. A 3.65 bullpen ERA is above average this season, but not looking as good as they looked a season ago. Speaking of offenses who've been struggling, guys, they're 17th in the majors in runs scored. They are 14th in batting average and 14th in on-base percentage, but they've scored 1, 7, 3, 10, 6, and 4 runs over their last few. Just hasn't felt like they're killing it at the plate. I guess those numbers would indicate that they are killing it. Just hasn't really felt that way recently. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Padres are minus 124. The Braves are plus 105. We've got a total of 8.5. The Padres are 11 and 12 on the road, 13 and 11 to the over on the road. Atlanta 15 and 7 at home, 13, 7, and 2 to the under at home. The Padres are still on the banned list as far as I'm concerned, guys. So I guess we're taking the Braves here at plus 105. But with Grant Holmes on the mound, I don't love it. I would maybe lean towards the under since neither offense can seem to get anything going right now. But this game not showing tons of value to me. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We are looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Mariners come into this game fresh off a 5-3 win there in game 2 of this series. They're going to be hitting the ball in this game to Brian Wu, who's 5-1 on the year, a 2.65 ERA. He's coming off a dominant start there against the Padres. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run allowed in a 6-1 win. The Mariners are also 5-0 over his last 5 starts, so that's got to feel very, very nice. I don't believe he has not faced the Astros yet this year, so going to be a pretty important game there for this young guy. We'll see what he can do. The Mariners bullpen has been excellent this year. A 3.41 bullpen ERA is 8th or 9th, something like that in the majors, and it's steadily improving. In terms of their offense, it's drastically better last year. They've scored 5, 2, 6, 0, and 5 runs over the last few. The improvement year over year for this offense has been completely bonkers. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored. They're 9th in the majors in on-base percentage. This is actually a pretty reasonable offense this year. So we'll see what they can do against the Astros, who come into this game 26 and 25 on the year. They've lost 3 of their last 4, handing the ball in this game to Framber Valdez, who's 3-4 this season, a 3.57 ERA. He's not having as good of a year as last year either. Now, his last couple of starts have looked pretty reasonable. He did a good job bouncing back from an 8-inning start against the Royals, where he was very good. Put up a 7-inning, 6-hit, 3 earned run start there against the Rangers, which we eventually saw the Astros win 4-3. So good stuff there. We'll see what he can do against the Mariners. Maybe a little bit tougher nut to crack than the freaking Rangers, who let us down yesterday. Now, the last time he faced Seattle, that was back on the 8th of last month, and he was excellent. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 6 and walked 1, and was eventually a 2-1 win there for the Astros in 12 innings. Now, the Houston bullpen's been one of the best bullpens in the majors, a 2.86 bullpen ERA. Very, very good there. The offense has been the problem child for the Astros this year. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored. They are 22nd in slugging percentage, but we'll see. We'll see. They're maybe coming around a little bit. They scored 3, 9, 4, 2, and 4 runs over their last few. So looking at the numbers for this one, odds makers have it as kind of a coin flip, to be honest. Or wait, is that even true? Did something change here? Let me double check these odds because this seems a little bit outlandish to me. Let's look at the Mariners. Yeah, the Mariners are plus 100. The Astros are minus 120. So minus 120. So not really a coin flip, but yeah, nothing too crazy here. So looking at these numbers, I'm leaning here a bit towards the Mariners at plus 100, but really, I think the better value is probably going to be under 7.5. Seattle is a good road team. They're 15-9 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're 14-11 to the over on the road. Houston 16-9 at home, 14-11 to the under at home. With these two starters and these two bullpens and the history that Valdez has against the Mariners, I think this is a pretty good spot to take under 7.5. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Rangers let us down big time there in Game 1 of this series, losing 4-1. Pretty embarrassing stuff. Now, they're going to hand the ball in this game to Jack Leiter, who's 3-2 this year, a 4.25 ERA, kind of painting the picture you would expect for a young 25-year-old starter in the big leagues. Now, he's fresh off a 7-inning, 3-hit, 3-earned run appearance against the Astros, but he's had bad starts mixed in there, like getting shelled by Seattle. So we'll see what he does here against the White Sox. Obviously, a pretty weak hitting opponent. The Rangers bullpen, a huge problem. 3.90 bullpen ERA. Doesn't seem to be getting better anytime soon. The bats are embarrassingly bad, guys. They've scored 1, 0, 3, 2, and 3 runs over their last 5 games, all of which were losses. They are 27th in the majors in runs scored. They are 28th in the majors in on-base percentage. Huge yikes for me. So we'll see what they can do here against the White Sox, who come into this game winners of 2 of their last 3, hitting the ball in this one to young Jonathan Cannon, who's 2-5 this year, a 3.76 ERA. He's been much better recently than he was at the beginning of the season. Now he's fresh off a 5-inning, 4-hit, 3-earned run start against the Cubs, but his start for that, he dominated the Reds over 6 innings. Start for that was very good against the Royals. Start for that very good against Houston. This dude can throw it, and he's got one of the best names in all of Major League Baseball, especially for a pitcher. So I'm expecting good stuff from him. I would normally expect bad stuff from the White Sox bullpen, but they're going against the Rangers' non-existent bats, so maybe they'll be just fine. The offense for the White Sox is coming along a little bit. I mean, 4, 5, 1, 1, and 2 runs over their last few is actually a little bit of a step in the right direction for a team that is tied for 28th in the majors in runs scored and last in the majors in batting average. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the Rangers are minus 180. The White Sox are plus 150. We've got totals out there of 8.5 or 8. The Rangers 8-15 on the road, 14-9-1 to the under on the road. The White Sox 10-14 at home, 12-10-2 to the over at home. First up, I think under 8.5 is very live in this game. I think we're going to see very little offense out there, and I don't know why we would expect to see much from these two teams. I like both starters here, but I'm not sold on that Rangers bullpen, or really either bullpen, so you could maybe even talk me into a no-run first inning on this game, but I do think we want to side slightly towards the White Sox as big underdogs, as they don't seem like big underdogs in this spot, but I think under 8.5 is a very solid spot. Next on the dock, we've got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Yankees come into this game 30-20 on the season. Judge coming off of hitting a home run, but the Yankees are coming off a 3-2 loss there at the Colorado Rockies. Wild stuff. They were like 3-1 favorites. So huge shout out to somebody in the comments said yesterday, the way things are going in the MLB right now, I'm firing on the Rockies on the money line, and you were right, sir. So congratulations. Enjoy that win. Very good stuff. Now the Yankees looking to bounce back, handing the ball to Max Fried, who's 6-0 this season, a 1.29 ERA. His last time out, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs allowed there against the Mets. In a game, he struck out 8, walked 2, and the Yankees won 8-2. So the Yankees have only lost 1 game where he's been on the mound, and that was in extra innings at Seattle. So expecting excellent stuff from Max Fried, expecting pretty good stuff from the Yankees bullpen. They've been solid all year long. And the offense, though, guys, has floundered a little bit recently. 2, 1, 4, 5, 8, and 2 runs over their last few games. Obviously, Judge doing his thing, and this is still the 3rd highest scoring offense in the majors. They're 1st in on-base percentage and slugging percentage, so I think they're going to be just fine. Now, they're going up against the Rockies, who are fresh off a crazy win that makes them 9-42 on the season. They're hitting the ball to Kyle Freeland, who's 0-6 this year, a 5.68 ERA. Doesn't exactly fill you with optimism, but his last start was against the Phillies, and he went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, and only a single earned run. Now, the bullpen, gave up a ton of runs in that game and kind of does that often. A 4.41 bullpen ERA, not what you're wanting to see. The offense has also been borderline historically bad. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored. They're last in the majors in on-base percentage, 28th in batting average, batting .219 as a team. This is a terrible offense. So looking at the numbers, it's no major shocks to the Yankees as massive favorites. The Yankees are minus 330. The Rockies are plus 275. We've got a total of 10.5. The Yankees are 12-10 on the road, a 500 over/under team on the road. The Rockies are now 6-20, I believe it is, at home. That's an MLB worst home mark, and they're a slight over team at home. We're definitely leaning towards the Yankees pretty dang hard in this game, guys. I'm not going to lie. Now, I obviously don't want to take them at minus 330 or whatever it is, but I am interested in taking them on the run line. So let's take a quick look at what kind of price we can get on the run line there for the Yankees. If we take New York here, minus 1.5, what exactly can we get? Where's that one at? Where's that one at? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, taking minus 1.5, you can get it at minus 215. That is playable there as the potential lock of the day. So let's take a look at the Yankees at minus 1.5 and a huge bounce back spot as possibly the lock of the day in this one. Next up, guys, we got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Blue Jays come into this game 25-25 on the year, fresh off of a 3-1 loss, though, in Game 1. Slam that like button if you enjoyed cashing that under, though, on that Toronto Blue Jays Tampa Bay Rays Game 1. Now, the Blue Jays handing the ball in this one to Jose Barrios, who is 1-1, a 4.19 ERA. He's fresh off a 6-inning, 8-hit, but only 2 earned run start there against the Tigers. Now, they did lose that game. Back on the 13th, though, so very recently, 10 days ago or 11 days ago, he went up against Tampa Bay and got absolutely shelled in an 11-9 loss there for Toronto. So we'll see what he can do here at Tampa Bay. Probably not the easiest situation for him. Now, the Rays bullpen, or the Toronto bullpen, rather, has been, not terrible. Not nearly as bad as I would have guessed. A 3.64 bullpen ERA, very playable. Now, the offense has had its ups and downs. Now, they had a crazy series there against the Padres, but only coming with 1 run in Game 1 of this series. Kind of makes me think they're going to be back to their old ways. They're 20th in the majors in runs scored and 21st in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can get done here against the Rays, who are 24-26 on the year, winners of 3 in a row. They're hitting the ball in this one to Shane Baz, who's doing very good this year, but some ups and downs, which is what you would expect from a 25-year-old starter in the majors. He's 3-3, a 5.33 ERA. He got knocked around pretty aggressively in his last start. 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs there at Miami. His start before that, he struggled a little bit against Toronto. 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs allowed, gave a couple of home runs. So maybe pitching at home will do a little bit better, but the last time he pitched at home, he got obliterated by the Phillies. So things not looking too hot for either one of the starters in this situation. The Tampa Bay bullpen's been excellent this year, a 3.40 bullpen ERA. The offense has been decent lately, but over the course of the year, not so hot. 24th in runs scored and 20th in batting average. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Blue Jays are plus 102. The Rays are minus 120. We've got a total of 9.5. Toronto's 9-12 on the road, 11-9-1 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay is 13-18 at home, 17-12-1 to the under at home. I am expecting bounce backs from both of these guys, to be honest. I think both will pitch better than they did the last time in this exact same matchup. So under 9.5 is live to me in my eyes, but probably not going anywhere near the pinned comment. Now, if you're asking me to pick a side, I think we have to take Jose Barrios. I just feel like there's something wrong right now with Shane Baz. So lean towards the Blue Jays at plus 102, but not a pinned comment play for me. Next on the dock, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the New York Mets. Now, that game 1 of this series is still live. We're still alive here with the Mets to win that game at plus 100. It's the bottom of the 10th inning now. They've got a runner on second base and 1 out. So we'll see if they can come through for us. The Dodgers, they come into this game obviously playing very well in terms of, winning 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks. They're hitting the ball in this one to Tony Gonsolin, who's 2-0 this year, a 4.05 ERA. This is only his 5th start of the season, and he actually struggled his last time out, getting knocked around there by the Angels in a 6-4 loss there for the Dodgers. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him. The Dodgers bullpen this year has been much worse than expected. A 4.00 bullpen ERA is certainly nothing to write home about. The offense hasn't really been there recently either. I mean, 3, 4, 5, 4 over their last few games. Not elite numbers necessarily. Now, Ohtani's putting up crazy numbers. Hernandez being back is a big boost. Freddie Freeman's still batting .368 on the year, and this team is 2nd in runs scored, 1st in batting average, 2nd in on-base percentage, and 2nd in slugging percentage. So let's not freak out too much. I think this Dodgers offense is going to be just fine out there. Now, the Mets come into this game 30 and 20 on the year, handing the ball in this game to David Peterson, who's 2-2 this season, a 2.86 ERA. He's fresh off of a good start against the Yankees. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them were earned, but we saw the Mets eventually lose that game 8-2. Now, the Mets bullpen this season has been elite. Obviously, we're not elite in that game, so we'll see what they look like in this one, but a 2.91 bullpen ERA over the season so far is third best in the majors. The offense, while it's been elite at times, has struggled a bit. Soto really not having his best time, on his new team, so that's a big concern. Pete Alonso was hitting the cover off the ball early on, but is starting to, flounder aggressively. Lindor's hitting the ball well. They're still 14th in the majors in runs scored and 8th in on-base percentage. So once again, I think this is a situation where this offense is going to be fine here eventually. Now, looking at the numbers, the Dodgers are minus 105. The Mets are minus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. The Dodgers are 10-11 on the road, 11-10 to the under on the road. The Mets are an MLB best 17-5 at home. Hopefully they end up 18-5 at home, and they're 13-7-2 to the over at home. I think once again this is a pretty reasonable spot to take the Mets. I don't think they played their best game there in game 1. Whether they come out winning or losing, I don't think they looked their best. If you're asking me to choose which starter I like better in this spot and which bullpen, it's definitely the Mets starter and the Mets bullpen. So go ahead and give me the Mets here at minus 115. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. Now, the Phillies 32-18 on the year. They're currently up 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th in game 1 of this series. So we'll see if they can hold on and keep their winning streak alive. They've won their last 7 in a row. They're handing the ball in this one to Christopher Sanchez, who's 4-1 this season, a 3.10 ERA. He's fresh off a decent but not elite start against the Rockies, but over his last 5 starts, he hasn't ever allowed more than 3 earned runs, and only once has he allowed 3. So yeah, very, very good stuff. Expecting him to have a good time here against the Athletics. The Phillies bullpen has been a problem, but they're holding strong in their current game, so maybe that'll be a sign of better things to come. The offense, while they've only scored 1 run in their current game and 2, 9, 7, 9, and 1 over their last few, I think they're going to be okay. Trey Turner, a monster. We've loved what we've seen this season from Schwarber. He's had 17 home runs already. They're 6th in the majors in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 9th in slugging percentage. So obviously, very elite stuff there from the Phillies offense. We'll see what they can do here against the Athletics, who are trying to break a very lengthy losing streak. They're handing the ball to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 5-3 on the year, a 3.91 ERA. His last couple of starts have been excellent, and holding the Giants and the Dodgers to 1 run each, respectively, is pretty crazy stuff. So well played there by Jeffrey Spriggs. In terms of the bullpen for the Athletics, though, it's terrible, guys. 3rd worst in the majors, a 5.98 bullpen ERA. Pretty embarrassing stuff. The offense got off to a fantastic start to the year. They're still 15th in runs scored and 8th in batting average, but not looking nearly as good as they looked in the early goings and currently getting shut out in their current games. So we'll see how that goes, but not a great look. Now, looking at the numbers here, the Phillies are minus 178. The Athletics are plus 150. We've got a total of 9.5. The Phillies 14-10 on the road, 15-9-1 to the under on the road. The Athletics guys, 8-17 at home, 17-8 to the over at home. That's an MLB best to the over at home. I'm going to lean here just slightly towards the under in this game. I like both starters a good amount, but I think we want to be backing the Phillies more often than we're backing the Athletics here. So give me the Phillies at minus 178 is a small lean, but not lock of the day territory for me. Last but not least here, guys, in terms of the MLB slate, we got an NBA game coming up, so stay tuned. But we've got the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. Now, the Marlins and Angels are playing right now with the Angels up 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Marlins looking to snap a 2-game losing streak are handing the ball to Cal Quantrill, who's 3-4 this year, a 6.37 ERA. But I would say his last 2 out of his last 3 starts have been excellent. The one sandwich in between maybe not so good, but he has shown that he's capable of putting up decent numbers at times this year. It just has not been very consistent. And when you're 30, you should probably be finding some consistency. So we'll see how things go for him. The bullpen situation for Miami, terrible. A 5.11 bullpen ERA is obviously a pretty big yikes. The offensive situation is not much better. 23rd in runs scored. They've scored 1, 8, 5, and 0 runs over their last few games. Not bringing a lot of dudes up to the plate that I'm scared of. I mean, Kyle Stowers is having a good year, but that's pretty much it. So we'll see what they can do here against the Angels, who come into this game 24-25 on the year. They're looking to run their winning streak up to 8 straight games, and they're now up 7-4 in the bottom of the 8th, so I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about their chances. They're hitting the ball in this one to Jose Soriano, who's 3-4 this year, a 3.57 ERA. He's fresh off of a decent but not elite start against the Athletics. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. That's pretty playable. Honestly, over his last 5 starts, he's been very reasonable. He's given up a total of 9 earned runs over those 5 starts. Unfortunately for him, we see that the Angels are only 1-4 over those starts. So we'll see what he can do against the Marlins. The Angels bullpen is the worst bullpen in the majors, so a 6.48 bullpen ERA, not super helpful. And the offense, while it's been amazing recently, has not been amazing over the course of the year. Maybe 10, 7, 4, 6, and 11 runs over the last few is what we should expect from now on, but that seems like a bit of a big ask. So looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 145. The Angels are minus 175. We've got a total of 8.5. Miami, 6-14 on the road, 13-7 to the over on the road. The Angels, 9-10 at home, 10-8-1 to the over at home. I think over 8.5 is very live in this game. I'm not going to be putting in the pinned comment because I don't trust these two teams, but I think it's reasonable. In terms of a side, you could theoretically talk me into the Marlins at plus 145. I think they could make this a close game, but the Angels are playing so well and hitting the ball so well right now, I probably can't take the Marlins here as our dog of the day. So give me the Angels, I guess, but the main lead in this game is going to be that over. Also, guys, I just wanted to mention, before we hop over to the NBA portion of this video, there are a couple games, actually a doubleheader and then one other game where there were no lines out at time of recording. So we'll be looking at those for sure. Don't you worry. They could end up in the pinned comment. So make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day tomorrow because we don't know what time those odds are going to drop. So keep an eye on that while we hop over and look at our Western Conference Finals Game 3 here between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We saw the Thunder get another win at home, going perfect at home in the first 2 games of the series, winning 118-103 there. Very, very good stuff from Oklahoma City there in the third quarter. They really just took over the game there and did not relinquish control of the Thunder. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well from 3, but shot 50% from the field overall. They did a good job on the boards, holding a tiny edge. We saw a huge game from SGA, although 15 free throw attempts, once again doing most of his damage at the free throw line, it feels like. Jalen Williams, a huge game. Chet Holmgren, his probably best playoff game, I would assume. 22 points, 8 of 17 from the field. Only 4 rebounds, but Jalen Williams had 10 rebounds and Hartenstein had 8. So, yeah, very good stuff up and down the roster, really, from the Thunder. Coming off the bench, things were a little bit weird. I mean, Carson Wallace was fine. Caruso was also fine, but nobody else even scoring off the bench is a little bit odd. We'll see what they get done in this game. Playing on the road, things could be a little bit different. It's obviously a huge relief for any team to emerge from a playoff game with no injuries. The Thunder managed to do that. We'll see what they can do here against the Timberwolves, who had to be pretty concerned. Julius Randle finally had a Julius Randle-style playoff game, looking terrible out there. A minus 15, 6 points scored. 22 from Jaden McDaniels is a welcome change, though. 32 from Anthony Edwards, although he was only 1 of 9 from 3. That's not going to cut it. 10 points off the bench from Naz Reid, who went 0 of 5 from 3, and 17 points off the bench from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who had a very, very good game and should be looking to see more minutes in the rotation here. He's somebody that's going to come up, no shocker there, when we're talking about player props for this game. So, looking at the injury report for the Timberwolves, they also have to feel very, very good about coming out of a playoff game with no injuries. Now, looking at the numbers here for Game 3, the first game is going to be in Minnesota. We've got the Timberwolves as 2.5-point underdogs. We've got a total of 218 out there. Minnesota only 6-5 against the spread in the playoffs this year. 50-44 to the over this season. Oklahoma City is 6-3 against the spread in their last 8 playoff games. They're 51-43-2 to the over this season. So right off the bat here, I think we have to consider over 218, even though this game is being played in Minnesota, and maybe the Thunder will struggle a little bit. I think we're going to see drastically better shooting here from the Timberwolves. So definitely give me over 218, and part of that thing happening, guys, I think we'll see better shooting from the Timberwolves. So give me the Timberwolves here at plus 2.5. You could even take them straight up, just take them on the money line. I think that's pretty reasonable as well. So I think there's a very good chance they're not going to get swept in this series. They're not going to go down 3-0. This is going to be a real series, I believe. So give me the Timberwolves getting 2.5 points. There are also some player props that I think are very live in this game. And first up, as we were hinting at earlier, I like Nickeil Alexander-Walker over 7.5 points. He had 17 in Game 2. 8 in Game 1. Seems like he's going to be getting up plenty of shots in his minutes, so getting to 8 points in Game 3, playing at home, seems extremely likely to me. I also like Alex Caruso here over 7.5 points. He had 9 points in Game 2 and won't be bothered here on the road in a high-stakes game. Even if we see Minnesota find a way to win this game, I don't think we have to worry too much about Caruso's minutes suffering. I think he will comfortably get his 24 to 28 minutes. He's going to get up, probably 3 threes, probably 7 to 10 shots total, and getting to 9 points or, 8 points is all we need with those kind of numbers. Seems very, very live. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Like I was saying, keep an eye on that pinned comment. We could be adding in some different MLB games later in the day as, there are 3 different games in total that didn't have lines out here at time of recording. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com. Click the link down in the description. Get over there, get on that free email list. It's free information straight to your inbox every single day. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. We will see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.